Live. We're going to talk about some new discs that are coming out. And let's see, I'm going to bring up the chat just in case so the chat can talk to me and ask questions. What's up? You guys doing good this morning? Having a fantastic Wednesday morning. Um, let's see. Hopefully you can hear me on the YouTube. Um, I'm going to just jump right into it and then we'll kind of do all the checks and balances later. So tomorrow is Thursday, and of course we always have new release Thursdays. This one has I didn't grab one of those. I should have grabbed one of the Lucid Juries. I couldn't find them, so I didn't grab them. But the Lucid Jury comes out tomorrow, and I believe Clay puts the newsletter out at 8 a.m. It's a great rainy day in South Carolina. Ew, that's okay. What's up, Alex? Killing it with those videos, dude. I love those motive videos and heist videos. Good job. So we're going to talk about the discs that I did grab because I did not grab the Lucid Jury. But the Lucid Jury is my understanding. It's a somewhat similar to the Judge, but it's an overstable putter. I did grab some videos from Zach Melton because he had thrown a custom stamp one he had, and so I grabbed some of those videos and put together some posts for today. So she'll be able to see posts on our Instagram to talk about or to see how the Lucid Jury throws. I have not thrown it, but I'm sure we'll end up doing a video. Me and Eric will do like an "Is this disc right for you" on the Lucid Jury, so that way you can learn more about it. But that comes out tomorrow. A lot of people we have had it in the classic plastic, but now we're putting it out in Lucid. I know a lot of you guys like Lucid plastic for your throwing putter, so good on that. In the chat, tell me real quick, do you use throwing putters for your throwing putter? What putters do you use? Well, morning. Everybody's saying, yo, what's up? Audio is good, Bobby. Perfect. Because I just started something new with this microphone using this little Focusrite deal where it takes the XLR connections and puts them into the computer. So anyway, a bunch of technical stuff. Audio needs a little light. Audio is a little light on my end. Let me see if I can turn it up just a tad bit. Okay, so I turned it up just a little bit. See if that helps. I have a glow agent that is super beefy. I wonder if the jury is comparable. I don't know. The agent was something that was in development right before I left, so I haven't had a chance to touch a agent to see what it throws like. So I may have to grab some of those. Let me know, Charles, if the audio is a little better. I'm cranking that up on my end. But I know that me and Eric need to get out and do some "Is this disc right for you?" and the agent can be one of those. Opto Orbit Ice Pure. Use it. I'm assuming you're answering the question about I use a Pure. Yeah, for your throwing putter. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to talk about, so we got the Lucid Jury coming out tomorrow, but we also some stuff that's already out that I want to make sure. Oh, I'm also going to go over the top 5 discs that we sold in July. So reached out to Clay and said, hey, I want to do some top 5 videos so people can know I think people might be surprised at what the top 5 discs are that sold for July. And this is at dynamicdiscs.com. So real quick, I want to talk about let's talk about some upcoming releases that are coming out. No, let's talk about some releases that have already happened. First of all, the First Run Motive is out. These did really, really well on the wholesale side and the direct-to-consumer side. Now, you have to understand we're kind of, in a sense, 2 businesses, right? We're the distribution side of things, and we are also the retail side of things. And on the distribution side, it seems like a lot of people were excited about this, so thankfully, we were able to put out some good content so people could get excited about it. And once they get it in their hands, then they're going to start making posts. If you got one of these First Run Motives and you already received some, do some throw videos. Tag us in it. I want to see how it throws for people, see what they're doing with it. I know when I release it, I like to release it on a hyzer so it flips up. And it's not too flippy. I know if I throw it a little too hard into a headwind, yeah, it's going to flip for me. But as far as like just no wind or a little bit of tailwind, I can put on a hyzer and it'll flip up nice, and it's nice and controllable for my arm speed. If you're like a big gun thrower, it's probably a little too understable for you. Andrew says, Motive should get here any day. Can't wait. Dude, I'm serious. Tag me. Tag Dynamic Discs in it when you get it and throw it. I want to see it. Another one that's been out for a little bit that's doing really good. I'm going to be honest, it had a little bit of a slow start, but the Lucid Orbit Heist has been doing good. Better audio. Thank you, Charles. So the Lucid Orbit Heist A little bit of a slow start, not sure what it was, but now it's picking up. People are starting to get the heist in their hands and they're liking it. It's been called a beat-in trespass. It's been called a similar to the Supreme trespass. So if you like that, check out the Lucid Orbit heist, and it'll come out in the stock stamp here in a little bit, in the Lucid, and then of course eventually the Fusion. So get excited about that. This one is definitely going to be like a win fighter for me, or one that I know I need it to go around a tree, or I need it to definitely go hook left or hyzer in for sure. It's not going to be probably a distance, though I have thrown it on a little bit of an anhyzer, and it's got a little bit extra distance, but it's definitely not a big distance disc for me. But for some of you, Logan Harpool came out and throw it, and his videos out on Instagram. He can toss this thing, and so check out the heist. And then the one that I want you to get super excited about, because I'm excited about, is, let's see, Alex says hyzer is the way to go with the motive for me too. Perfect. Definitely throwing putters in premium plastic. I bag 3 currently to add. Looking to add a 4th. I would check out the Lucid Jury for sure. I would definitely check out the Lucid Jury. Let's see. If you have any questions, anything, discs, anything you want to talk about, this is the time to talk about it. I'm going to be here for the next 40 or so minutes. So let's just have a chat. So this one, the Treason, right now I just have prototypes. We have the stock stamps coming in for Fusion, I believe. And I'm sure eventually Lucid, yes, if I'm remembering right, looking at the new release spreadsheet. But the tree, and I don't know who said it, but someone was like, tree, son. And I'm going to say that every time now. I'm going to be like, tree, son. Anyway, so me and Jackie did a video where we threw only the 2025 mold. So we threw the Lucid heist, the Lucid Orbit heist, the Treason prototype, and the first run motive. We filmed it yesterday, so I got to work on that over the next couple days. But we were hitting a couple trees with these, and we were like, tree, son. Anyway, so let's see. RO93R says, I'm a classic blend guy when it comes to my throwing putters. I have throw premium, but love beat in classic blend plat. There is something about, and that was something that, like, yesterday when me and Jackie were filming, she said, I love throwing putters, and I believe it's probably because they're a little more stable, not stable, but they just feel a little more controllable than a driver can feel. So I do get throwing the putter sometimes off the tee, and I do get the feel. Sometimes, is it the feel for you that you really like? You like the feel a little bit better when you throw off the tee? I want to see you check and see. My first run heist, consistent straight with dependable fade. Yes, Andrew, that's perfect. Love it. So Treason, how it throws for me. When I throw at about 80%, it's going to flip up to flat, which for an arm speed like me, I love this. So this is, I wouldn't say this is a beginner. I would go for the first run motive, or the motive when it comes out in stock stamp. But if you've got a little bit more of an arm and you've been playing for a little bit, I would say the Treason is good for you. If you're more of like an advanced player, getting up in there in that level, I would say this might be a little too flippy. I don't know. I'd like to see some advanced player throw this. I know that the juniors were here throwing this, and they really liked this. And some of the guys that had, I know Alex threw it, and I'm going to put some videos out of him throwing the Treason. But they were really liking the Treason, so I would definitely grab one of these. I probably should have looked up the numbers so you guys would know what the numbers are, because I know you guys like the numbers. So let me see if I can look that up real quick. Treason, our little secret we use Basecamp for all of our project management. And I'm going to see if I can find the Fusion. Or not the Fusion, nope, that's, bear with me guys here, bear with me as I look for this information. Oh, here's a flight guide, this will tell me. Let's see, Treason, nope, that didn't work. Hang tight. Treason, it is a speed 10, glide 5, -3 turn. So it's got a good turn on it and a fade of 1. So not a super hard fade. So I like that. So definitely check that out. Hoping we get a Treason for the team. Yes, Treasons will come out to the team. And you guys will have those out to you soon. All right, now let's talk about the top 5, and I want to see if you guys are surprised. I'm going to talk about the top 5. No, some of these I'm not familiar with because I've never thrown them. but we're going to go over these. And I'm going to save the last one. I'm going to save one of them for last because I'm excited about this one that was top 5. This is top 5 for July. Let me know if this was any surprise to you. So Alex is a bomb. Treason is a bomber and a great slow turnover disc. That's a great way to describe it. You must play disc golf a lot. All right, so the first one is, well, let me do it in the order. I think this is the order. Hopefully this is the backwards order that Clay gave it to me. So the first one is going to be, I'm going to drop the Zero Medium Orbit Peak. Number 5. That came in at number 5. Let me know if that's something that you've thrown or you're looking to throw. But that's it feels good. I love that orbit on there. And of course, we all love Isaac Robinson. And that is a really cool stamp. Show you guys the stamp on that. So that's number 5 as far as the discs that sold at dynamicdisc.com. This came in at number 5. Number 4, and now this one surprised me. The Lucid Ice Glimmer Raider. I think some of you people that have been asking for an overstable driver or a, well, I guess this isn't super overstable, but a distance driver that you can really get on. You guys you've slept on the Raider. You guys need to try the Raider if you have not tried the Raider yet. So the Raider is a good disc. So Lucid Ice Glimmer has kind of that little bit of a glimmer to it. Have you noticed? Okay, it just reminded me. This is weird. I know this is weird, but this just reminded me of. Have you seen those new cars that the paint looks weird, like it's a matte finish, or like there's no sparkle or shine to it? I started noticing them, and they were like in a like a blue or now I'm seeing all kinds of color, but they were like really just. I don't know if matte is the right term, but it didn't have the sparkle that most cars had, a shine to it. And I looked it up, and what they did is they took out, it's the paint without the sparkle in it. And so when you look really close at a car and the paint on it, if you look really close, you can kind of see tiny specks or tiny sparkles. Well, they basically took those out, and that's why you have that finish. I don't know why I thought of that, but when I saw this, I thought of that because you can actually, if you look really close, you can see tiny little sparkles in there to make up that ice glimmer. So anyway, this was number 4. The next one is number 3 is a disc we already talked about. I'm an old guy, rip on the Raider and a headwind consistent. I like that, Andrew. It's definitely a good disc for that. Is the Lucid Iced. Oh, I need to turn do not disturb so that doesn't disturb us. Let me turn that off for a second. That was a text from my good friend Jay Milley. So Lucid Iced Orbit. Orbit. Do you ever do that where your brain just kind of makes up words? This came in at number 3 as the top seller. Now, this was just released in July. So I love that this, like I said, it kind of was a slow start, but it started picking up steam. And I think as people started seeing other people throw it, thank you to our team members for putting stuff out there so that people could see it throwing. It started picking up steam. So people are starting to realize that the Heist is a great disc. So that came in at number 3. Let me know if you got any of these already. Food for thought. I realize DD is a theme emphasis currently, but I really miss the trilogy-wide aspect of the GAM. I miss seeing Westside options promoted. That's a great, we'll talk about that here in a second. Well, we'll talk about that before I move on. So that is a great point you bring up, Charles. And so a lot of what I'm going to share is more on a personal level, I guess, is that I agree with you. There is a lot of the trilogy stuff that I miss doing and miss talking about. So we'll have to see. It is kind of a weird spot we're in because I mean, to be honest, it feels like we're rebuilding dynamic discs. We're rebuilding the trust that people had in dynamic discs over the last couple of years. Let's just be real. The brand Dynamic Discs has taken a hit. Kind of, I don't know, the blame or the hit from all the things happening with venture capitalists and all that type stuff and monies that were invested and this and that. For some reason, Dynamic Discs took the brunt of it all, right? And so we're having to kind of rebuild that. So that's kind of why they brought me back as the brand manager for Dynamic Discs, to kind of help rebuild the brand and rebuild the trust that people had in Dynamic Discs. So I don't know. I mean, something like this is, I'm not shying away from brands. I'm just looking at what was the top 5 at dynamicdiscs.com. And that's kind of what the whole stick of this particular update is all about. So I don't know what the future holds as far as what we're going to promote, who and what and where and when. So we'll have to kind of wait to see how that unfolds. All right, number 4 is another Isaac Robinson disc. Can you guess what it is? We have the Grand Orbit Sweep. And I really do like that orbit. It's just really cool how I don't know, that effect it has. And then there's just the uniqueness of the different discs, depending on which disc you pick up, the uniqueness of the die, or not the die, but whatever, the plastic combination and all that. I just think it's really cool. So the Grand Orbit Sweep, this is another one that a lot of people have been talking about. And this is a speed 9, glide 6, negative 0.5 on the turn, and a fade of 2. So a nice, very stable fairway driver. So that's number 2 on the list of our top 5 discs that sold in July. All right. Any other questions? I think recruiting the youth and getting the discs in their hands. Yes, that is definitely a must to do, and something that's on. Oh, I almost dropped my phone. And definitely on the game plan of what we're going to do is getting the discs in the hands of youth. Whether that's working with different organizations that do that, or maybe creating something on our own. So we'll have to see. So definitely, I think that's a very important part of growing the sport, growing any sport. You know, when kids start getting into sports and doing their thing, you want to make sure that that they pick up, that we get youth involved. Especially, I'm not trying to dog on video games. I think video gaming is a great thing. It can be a good thing, but there's still something to getting outside and playing a sport. And of course, I'd love for kids to love and fall in love with playing disc golf. Not sure whatever happened, but my bag is still and will always continue to be primarily dynamic disc bag. Nice to see you back at it, brother. Perfect. I love that. Thank you so much for that. I love hearing that. All right. So the number 1 disc, top 5 discs sold at dynamicdiscs.com in July is none other than the lemon-scented Mr. Breeze Judge. Of course, when you pick it up, you have to smell it. It smells so zesty, so lemony. So this was a complete surprise. This was not my idea. We were coming out with the lemon-scented Judge. Eric McCabe, product manager in charge of the products for Dynamic Discs, the planning and the putting together of products. He knew the lemon-scented was coming. And I believe the idea was pretty much like it smells zesty, like a cleaner. And they thought Mr. Clean. And then, of course, me being bald, Mr. Clean. So they made Mr. Breeze. And they basically took an old image of me and designed or drafted, whatever you want to say, and that put it on the Mr. Clean body, a rendering of the Mr. Clean body. And this turned out really good. And these have sold. So I want to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for grabbing the Mr. Breeze, because it's just really cool to be welcomed back to my family at Dynamic Discs and to see something like this, and then to have people be excited about it and buy it. So there are a handful of these left, so make sure you pick them up. Still some left. And hopefully if they do really well, we can have some other molds or other fun with stamps with some Cool Daddy Slick Breeze stuff on it. We'll have to wait and see. So did any of those surprise you? Any of that surprise you as far as making the top 5 in disc? Let me know in the comments. So that's pretty much it. Looks like there's not really a whole lot of questions, which is all right. They want to sniff your head just like that. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're sniffing. It does. It smells so. It does smell clean, like a cleaner, zesty, nice and zesty. So if there's any question, I'll give a couple seconds to see if anybody has any other questions to ask. Just about anything at all, I can try to answer for you. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, tomorrow is, let me double check what we have on the new release. I know the Luther Jury is coming out. You can actually, if you guys ever want to, you can go to dynamicdisc.com, and at the top you can click on release calendar, and it'll tell you upcoming. Ooh, I should have grabbed one of the sheriffs. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Um, the sheriff has the Galactic Lawman on it. Kevin did a fantastic job on that stamp. Let's see. Someone asks, you all traveling in October? I don't have any plans of traveling in October, so no. I do know that my next travel plans will be to go to the LSW Open in Idlewild or at Idlewild, and so I'll be there early to create some content with our players. I won't stay for the entire event. I can get a lot. Disc Golf Pro Tour does a really great job of doing media coverage, and they maybe this is a subject for another episode or another time. But as far as like allowing other people to do media, they get kind of picky about that. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. I understand where they're coming from. So I get a lot of more return on investment going out there early and creating fun practice rounds, in the mind type stuff, maybe even like a walking in the bag or something like that with a few of our players. So I'm going to try to get some of that done. Let's see. Neil says, not sales related, but will you be around for the Hand-Eye Open in October? Thinking about coming down from Nebraska to play? Yes. In fact, I heard somebody talking about it yesterday, and I thought I should get signed up. I think it'd be kind of cool to do like a kind of a vloggy style video with me playing, or maybe I might just follow a couple of our people here that play and see how they do. But just to kind of show the fun. I mean, people experience tournaments and have fun, but you know, I love making content and making videos about the fun stuff that we do. So that'll be fun. So yes, I would say, unless something else comes up, I will be around for the Hand-Eye event for sure. And that brings up a good point. Go to Dynamic Discs on Facebook page, and we should be connected to our Facebook page, our events that you can sign up for. The Emporia Ladies Open, the Hand-Eye Supply Classic, I believe it's called. There's a couple other ones. Oh, the Freedom Fest. That's another one that's around Veterans Day, because Emporia is the founding city of Veterans Day. So we like to do some fun stuff with that as far as the town. I played in 2023. Jackie put on a great tournament, so I'm excited to come back. Yes, Jackie does a fantastic job as our event coordinator. She did a great job as tournament director for Junior Worlds, and has plans to do even, or not even more, but plans to just go all out on events for 2026. So I'm excited about that. All right, let me check Facebook real quick. The selling point for Trilogy Disc was always the quality and consistency of the disc. They need to hit that hard. The consistency of the Supreme plastic is superior to other brands. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that feedback. And I'm actually, how's your Emporia Airbnb doing? Well, actually, wow, you remember that from a while back. So Airbnb, so what I believe you're referring to is that when I lived here, I had a house. And while I was coming back to Oklahoma, I turned my house into an Airbnb. That did pretty good for about a year. But then it just wasn't, I was making enough just to pay for everything, but not quite everything. And I was trying to figure out, I had hired someone to clean the Airbnb. They did great for a while. Then they decided to do something else. Then I hired somebody else to do it. And then I can't remember what happened with that person. I think it ended up being where I just decided, you know what? I think I need to let this house go, take the equity and pay off some bills and do some other stuff. Had I known that David Berglund would have reached out to me and said, do you want to come back to Dynamic Discs? I would have kept that house, because that would have been, I would have been like, I have a house already. I can live in my house while I'm here, Airbnb it out when I'm gone. So, and the interest rate was amazing because it was during the whole pandemic thing when the interest rates were super low and everything. Anyway, I digress. So the plan is to eventually get a similar situation like that again, to have some sort of house here where I'm going to rent myself or Airbnb or buy it and then Airbnb it out while I'm not here. So we'll see how that plays out. But to your point, Paul, yes, we do make quality discs. And that was when I came back. That was the big thing that a lot of people said was, yeah, the brand is being tarnished a bit. Some people are not liking it. Some people don't think it's relevant because they didn't even know anything about it. But the people that knew about it were like, we still have quality people that work here. We still have quality products, quality discs, quality plastic. So now it's just getting back to telling our story and make sure people are aware of what's going on. Paul continues to say, every Supreme Trespass Escape Fuse EMAC flies the same. I have been using other brands lately and they are not as consistent. That's good. I'm going to show that on the stream. Boom. Now you can see that on YouTube. But anyway, so I appreciate that, Paul. Appreciate the kind words and appreciate the trust in the consistency of the plastic. There are, right now, we're kind of in the planning stage. So I'm actually be on the lookout for a survey that I'm going to post on all our platforms. You'll get to win, because what we did in the past, we're going to do again, was when we go out and throw discs and we do it for videos, is this disc right for you? Challenge videos, or for whatever reason, and it gets, it hits the ground, it gets scuffed up a little bit. It's probably sometimes, on the rating system you might see on Marketplace, it could be end up being like a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, depending on if I'm throwing it and it keeps hitting trees. But we give those away because we can't put them on the shelf and sell them as brand new. So we just give them away. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to put together a process and a system for giving away these discs. And one of the things I'm going to do is, as an incentive, to fill out the survey. It's going to be probably about a 15-question survey on just what do you want from dynamic discs, what do you still love about, what do you don't like about, all kinds of different stuff. And I'm going to start just doing random giveaways for the people that submit that survey. So be on the lookout for that. Been Trilogy player since 2013. Have to stay the course. Love it. Thank you so much, Andrew. Appreciate the loyalty and the trust, for sure. Paul says, love what you're doing. Thank you. I love doing what I'm doing. Nick says, I love the consistency of Lucid Plastic, and the hand feel is a touch gummier than Champion, which is nice. Oh, interesting. Okay. One thing that is kind of like a not a good thing is that because so early on in my disc golf story, my journey, I connected with Dynamic Discs and started doing videos for them. And I remember when I first started doing videos, I got paid in plastic, right? I got paid. And I remember one of the first things, funny enough, one of the first discs I got paid with is a Innova Groove, Champion Groove. It was the what was it? It was the Green Country Open, and it had the I can't remember what the stamp was. Anyway, it was one of my first discs. My point was, when I first started and I connected with Dynamic Discs early on, and they started producing discs, getting into the manufacturing game and all that, so I started throwing Dynamic Discs. So I haven't really experienced a lot of other manufacturers. Now, when I left Dynamic Discs, I started throwing a little bit of other things that I had before. I had a Nuke and had a Discraft, what was it called? A Banger? GT Banger, I think? No. It was the one with the groove in it from Discraft. Eric McCabe had a signature disc with it. Anyway, and then I connected with Clash, and so I started throwing a lot of Clash. So my point is, I haven't really experienced a lot of other discs, and sometimes I think I need to go throw them, but so that when people say, what does it throw like? I can say, oh, well, you've thrown the Discraft this, you've thrown the Innova this, you've thrown the Thought Space this, the MVP this. Boom, I can kind of tell you what it's going to fly like similarly. I don't know why I went off on that. Josiah says, why did the disc from different Trilogy brands get split off and you could no longer purchase them off the website? If you had to go to Westside, i.e. you have to go to Westside to get the Westside disc. I have some opinions about that. I'm trying to think, because this is going to be on the internet. It's going to live forever, right? And so I obviously don't want to stir anything or cause anything. I'm just going to leave it at this. I agree with that as a friction point, and I agree with that as a frustration. I don't exactly know what the plans are. I kind of know what the plans are kind of being talked about, but I don't know what the end plan will be, so I won't speak on that. And I don't want to cause any speculation, but there is something that's an interesting topic, because there is something about what happened with Trilogy, where back in the day, our brand, Dynamic Disc, didn't have a lot of molds to choose from, and some of the other brands were still building their lineup. And so the power came from us being able to say, you can throw all 3 discs, right? All 3 discs, we're going to distribute them. We're going to tell you about them so you're aware of them, so you'll buy them. And there was some power in that. Now, what happened was there was some brand, became diluted, right? So you didn't know the difference between the different brands. You did if you were a diehard, but if you weren't, you weren't sure. In fact, we would have people that would ask for. We had stores that told us that customers would come in and say, "What's the latest from Trilogy?" And they thought Trilogy was a brand, right? And not in the sense they thought it was literally a Trilogy disc, a Trilogy this Trilogy, rather than a West Side disc, a Latitude, or a Dynamic disc, Truth, or whatever. And so that's not great when it comes to brand and marketing. Now, it could be argued both ways that the strength comes from the all three of them working together, but also that is a weakness as far as brands. And so there's kind of some back and forth. So yeah, see, Nick says, personally, I feel Dynamic Disc should only be selling their brand. That is the brand, and the molds are different. So yeah, so there is kind of a thing going on as far as keeping our brand separation and keeping within our brand identity. A lot of you diehard guys, loyal fans, which we love, obviously, know about the story, know about all the brands. You keep up with everything that goes on. There are some people out there that they have no idea, right? They don't even know the connection. They don't even understand the connection. Those are important, just as important customers as well. And so we have to kind of weigh the ups and downs, or weigh the pros and cons of, do we bring all the brands together or do we keep them separate? So it will be an interesting, honestly, I'd love to look back. I'd love to be able to, in about 2 years after the choice that was made, to look back and see what happens. I almost sold all my Dynamic discs. Then you came back to DD and reignited my passion for the brand. Dude, that is like, that. Okay, it might sound weird. That totally touches my heart. It warms my heart. I love that you said that, because I was a little nervous about coming back. Because I wasn't sure what the reception would be. And so to get a warm reception and welcome reception from everybody was awesome. Let's see. Someone did have a comment here on Instagram. I also love the feel of Supreme and wish DD explores that a little more in newer molds. That's good to know, Gordy. Good to know. Again, I'm going to ask some stuff on that survey that will help us figure out what we do going forward for 2026 and beyond. HOD is making it a bit confusing. It does get confusing. But think of it this way. I mean, we're not the only brand that does that, right? I was watching a 6-sided disc where he talked about how many brands are manufactured by Gateway, right? I didn't know some of those. Some of them I knew. Some of the others I was like, I didn't know Gateway made those discs. So we're not the only ones. I think that because we are. I think the good and bad thing. The good thing about us being transparent and talking to you about stuff like this is that you are along for the ride. You're along for the journey. We want you to join in our journey of growing disc golf. The bad thing is that you know too much, right? As weird as that is, you know a little too much. Is it bad? Is it good to know too much? I guess one could argue either way. But think of car companies. We all know that Ford, Lincoln, Mercury are all made by the same company. Of course, isn't it Lincoln? No, is Lincoln gone? I think Lincoln's gone. No, Mercury's gone. Mercury's gone. And then of course, Oldsmobile, but that was all part of I believe the GMC. Anyway, conglomerates are everywhere, right? Sometimes you know about them, sometimes you don't. And we have to figure out how to navigate that within House of Disc. What's up, Eli? I need to work on that latest video we did. I don't know how it didn't turn out that great on the iPhone. We filmed it. I'm doing a series on my own channel, Uncle Bobby Jr., Papa versus Eli. And something happened with the battery on my camera. And so we had to film on the iPhone. I'm not sure I like the way it turned out. I have spotty reception. Chance we get a quick recap post after this live event. So basically what this is a kind of an update on some molds that just came out, and then the top 5 discs that came out in July. I'm going to do a little Instagram video of that. So if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you'll be able to see kind of a recap of the top 5 of July, and that'll be kind of your recap. And I'll do a little recap at the end of this of what we're talking about. But the questions are still coming in. DeGam is what introduced me to and got me to throw Trilogy back in the day. I hope your presence back at the company revitalize it. Yes, I've been having fun with Disc Golf Answer Man. We've been doing a ton of Disc Golf Answer Man interviews because I was just like going all all in on learning from content creators to see what they got going on, what's going on in their mind, what what they got, what they have planned, because I just love learning. I'm a student of the game of social media and marketing, more so on the social media side. I am a student of the game. But now I just finished interviewing Parker Welk, so make sure you check that out, that interview, if you haven't yet. And I'm gonna start interviewing more players to get their mindset, see what's going on with them. Let's see, Nick, one of the things I like most about the Dynamic brand is the support for veterans, and I'm Canadian, but that is very cool that you put a focus on those that sacrifice volunteer for their country. Absolutely. As a veteran myself, I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. I absolutely love that we do that. There is a lot of different programs that we're going to try to revitalize. We just don't quite have the bandwidth yet for some of the programs that we had in the past, but we're going to get back there. We're going to get back there. I don't want to jump in right back into things that we did in the past and then not be able to put out quality products as far as campaigns and as far as programs that we invest in. So we got to do it slowly. Slowly but surely we'll get back to it. What about Supreme plastic molds are different than the standard mold? For example, the Judge versus Supreme Judge. What is physically different to make those molds? That might be a good video. Or maybe someone's already did a video. Because I honestly, Supreme, before I left, Supreme was something that was being talked about and discussed, right? We had talked about it and we had felt the plastic, but we hadn't put anything out yet. And so after I left, you started to see the Supreme mold. So I haven't had a lot of experience with Supreme plastic and Supreme mold. So that's something I probably should, maybe that's what I need to do, a series of, like, let's learn with Bobby. Because as I learn about stuff, we can all learn together. So that's a great idea. I'll have to put that together. Let's see. All right. You got any other last questions or things you want to talk about? Let me know. If not, we're going to sign off. We're going to do a quick recap. So, wait. Oh, here was one. There are a lot more smaller shops. Bobby's work to build the brand will help those smaller stores. I would like to see you all continue to go to those local stores like you did when you traveled. Yes, we did that when I went to Portland for the Northwest Disc Golf Championship. We went to the Huck Lab store, and we went to Disc Golf Depot and went out and checked that out. So when I go to my travel plans to go to Kentucky for the LSW Open, hopefully I can go talk to some people over there, maybe stop at a store or talk to some store owners or people that are out there. Sorry to interrupt your video, but I ordered a disc, received the wrong item. 3 emails gone unanswered. Oh, thank you for the, okay, so I might, Savage Dave, because I don't know when the live ends on the Instagram. I don't know that it'll save your comments. I can't remember. So if you could send that as a private message, or not a private, on Instagram, a direct message to Dynamic Discs, and I will see if I can have somebody look up that order for you and figure that out. So I apologize for the unanswered emails. So if you could send that, I will send it to a customer service person I know here, and we'll get that figured out for you. But send it as a DM because I don't want to lose it after the live is done. Repeat question. For TDs that run events sponsored by DD Westside, are there resources available by DD to help market their events above and beyond just using the DD logo? You know what? We used to do that back in the day. We used to, like, if you were an event that we helped with, we would promote it on Facebook and we would help market it and we would do Instagram. So that is a fantastic thing to bring back. Send me an email. Okay, so have you already, I need to talk to Derek about that to see how we can bring that back. Because we already are starting to put some ads out there to get more people to remember that we sponsor tournaments and help you promote your tournament with products and, special offers and stuff like that. So, but going back to telling people about events that we've helped with, fantastic. Thank you, Charles, for reminding me of that. I'm going to make a note of that. I don't have anything. I'm using my phone. So I'm going to make a mental note of that and figure that out, because that's great to help market stuff. I'm going to talk to Derek about it. And then, but yeah, if you guys go to our website, dynamicdisc.com, there's a tournament sponsorship tab link that you can find out all the different things we can do, and helping you promote that via social media would be a great thing to add to that, or re-add, because I remember we did that. So, all right, so quick recap, because I got to go at about 9:45, we have a weekly check-in here for the warehouse where the people from our team update us on products coming in, human resource stuff, exciting new things, and just kind of like housekeeping things. And so just for a way to keep everybody in the loop of stuff to communicate. So I got to do that here in a little bit. But I'm real quick. First Run Motive. Really right off the bat, great sales. People are excited about this. So if you haven't tried it, go to your local disc golf store, ask for the First Run Motive, give it a feel. It's nice, small rim. Maybe you got a beginner you want to give a disc to. Maybe you got a young one that wants to try it out or just needs a lightweight driver. Have them check out the First Run Motive. At least just go in and see what it feels like. See what it feels like in the hand. Take a friend. Take a young one that's looking to play disc golf or plays disc golf and looking for a new lightweight driver. Take them in. Tell them Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze sent you to check out the First Run Motive. If you're looking for a new distance driver that'll give you the nice S-curve, Lucid Orbit Heist. This is out. The Orbit Heist, this is like a triple stamp. Again, our guys did a fantastic job with this triple stamp. You got the two colors, and then you got, well, no, Eric said it's more like, well, it's the triple stamp, the black, red, and gold triple, and then the 4 stamp, which is the back on the back. So it looks like a heist, like a vault exploding. Anyway, really cool Orbit Lucid Orbit Heist. Pick that up, give it a try, give it a feel. Again, not a super wide rim. It is a little bit a wider rim, but not super wide at a speed 10. And then Lucid Jury coming out tomorrow. So when you go to check out a First Run Motive, check out a Lucid Jury. The Treason upcoming. More information coming about the Treason for sure. I'm going to take it this weekend and go out and do some more throwing with it because I want to get used to it and not look like a goober when I'm out filming for the company because I'm out of practice. Back to our top 5. Real quick recap, the top 5 discs. This is for the top 5 of July. We got the Zero Medium Orbit Peak from Isaac Robinson, his Team Series 2025. Nice feeling base plastic. I love the way that feels. And then we have the Lucid, a surprise for me, Lucid Ice Glimmer Raider, a great overstable maximum distance driver. I keep saying overstable. It's overstable for me for sure, but anybody that's, I would say, anybody that's better than me, which is a lot of people, you need to try this out. Try a Raider out. Enough people tried it out that it made our top 5 for July. Number 3 was the Lucid Orbit Heist. Again, it had a kind of a slow start, but I think once people got a feel for it and thrown it, they really like it. And then number 2 was our Grand Orbit Sweep, our Isaac Robinson, another Team Series for Isaac Robinson. To remember, this stuff helps support players while they're out touring, so check that out. That nice orbit. I love the way that it's got a grippy feel to it. It's nice. And then the number 1 for July. Thank you again, guys, for making this number 1. Mr. Breeze Lucid Lemon Scented Judge. So zesty the way it smells. We have a few left. Pick these up. All of these, we still have a handful left. So go to dynamicdisc.com, pick you up one of these top 5. And thank you again for making Mr. Breeze number 1 for July. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. I'm going to sign off, head to our meeting, and say goodbye. Thanks, guys.